Hey guys, I'm Tony McAfee from Mobile Cup of Joe, and I've got a very special review for you today. We're going to be reviewing the BLU Win HD, which is one of BLU Products' first Windows phone. And this is a pre-release unit, but I do have clearance to go ahead and do a giveaway on this device. So because of the fact that it is a pre-release unit, it won't come with any accessories or a box. It's just going to be the phone. It takes a standard micro USB charger. And it should work out pretty well for you if you're interested in a Windows phone. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get into the review and show you guys a little bit more about it. Before we do, grab your coffee cup, fill it up, bring it over, sit on down, take a swig from your Mobile Cup of Joe. Okay, so this is the BLU Win HD. This is one of BLU Products' first Windows phones. They released two. One was the HD and one was the Junior. The HD has a 5-inch 720p HD display. It has 8 gigabytes of internal storage, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and is compatible with micro SD cards up to 32 gigabytes. It does support 4G or HSPA plus 42, so those are 850, 1700, or 850, 1900, and 2100. This is, I believe, a dual SIM phone. I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you just so you can see how it's made and just a little bit more about the phone. So you can, in fact, have 2 SIMs. SIM 1 is a micro SIM, and SIM 2 slot is a regular standard mini SIM. And here's your micro SD slot there. It's a pretty nice size battery. Actually, I didn't even realize I don't have the battery stat until now. I believe this is a 2300 milliamp hour battery, but I will have to check on that. And I'll put it in the video description when I do find out. So even though it does have a removable back and it is plastic construction, it does still feel sturdy. It's pretty well made feeling phone. It is light, and it comes in 4 colors. It comes in 3 neon colors, this neon yellow, neon pink, a neon orange, and then white. So there is no black option if you prefer black devices. That one upset me a little bit. It does have a 8 megapixel rear facing camera and a 2 megapixel front facing camera. That's kind of odd. They put the LED flash with the front, but the LED flash is on the back. And the rear camera can record up to 1080p, so that is pretty nice for a budget phone. And this device, when it is available for sale, will weigh in at about $179. Right now, it doesn't seem like you can get it on their Amazon. The buy now link from BLU Products page goes to the BLU Win Junior on Amazon, and I have not been able to find the Win HD on Amazon yet. So let's go ahead and start it up. You can see the boot logo for the Windows. Now, if you've ever used a Windows Phone before, you know that they don't vary very much with the way that they operate. When Windows Phone 8.1 is what this is running, and Windows Phone 8.1 is pretty much the same across the board. You've got the back button here, the Windows button or home key, and the Cortana button, which I'm not sure what this did before Cortana, probably just search. It is a little odd to me that in areas of the operating system where that search button should just be your option to search, there's still a on-screen search key. And I'll try to show you an example. So see that search button popped up at the bottom of the screen, almost like on-screen keys, like a Nexus. When there's a search button right there, I think that maybe they should think about changing the hard search key to access Cortana when long pressed, so that you're able to still use it just to search applications, because see, it's going to pull up Cortana anyway. So a little confusing to have 2 search buttons on screen, but that's just a Windows choice. And we'll I don't ever pretend to understand what Microsoft is thinking. So you've got some things, standard things here from pretty much, like I said, Windows 8.1, Windows Phone 8.1 is pretty standard across the board. You've got your tile layout. The camera on this is 8.1 megapixel. It does feel pretty nice. It's not very fast, but I'm thinking that might be a Windows Phone 8.1 thing, not so much this device in particular. So I've had a lot of people on the unboxing of this device ask for a gaming test. So let's go ahead and pull up, let's do Asphalt 8. Let's see how it plays. So the 720p HD display on a 5-inch screen is really nice. Really can't, I mean, unless you're really getting into it and looking at it up close and being very discerning of the display, you can't really tell a difference between 720 and 1080 on this size display. Let's see. No. Exit out. I just want to grab into a race here. Apologize for not being able to get into this very quickly. I don't play this game very often. But that's fine. Okay. The only thing that really bothers me about this construction of this device is the they went with this opaque plastic on the front, and while it does kind of resemble some of the newer HTC devices, I don't like having the excuse me, proximity sensor here on the side so visible. It makes it look like there should be another camera. You're gonna have to watch me learn how to play this game here. So you can see it's doing pretty well. Okay. I've seen a few frame drops, a few stutters, and you know, it's not a huge deal for a device that's only running a Snapdragon 200 processor. It's a quad-core 1.2 gigahertz processor, but still, Snapdragons, they're always pretty smooth, and then it's got an Adreno 302 GPU in it. So as far as casual gaming, you're gonna have no problem. And for something like this, where this is more graphics intensive, you might notice some frame drops, but overall it's still very playable and very enjoyable. As there is no LTE in this, it does get a slightly better battery life than most devices which do have LTE. So it is pretty nice. Okay, so we just finished up our gaming test. Now we're just going to go through the phone and just talk about a couple of the things. Now, since this is a dual SIM phone, it can get pretty confusing, since in America we generally only use one SIM card in our devices. This device, I did notice the second SIM slot, when I put a T-Mobile SIM in it, it did say that it was getting 3G, but I was never able to actually use the data from the second SIM. So it isn't something that is interchangeable for us. So I have a regular size SIM. I'm going to put it in the second SIM slot. No, it's not interchangeable. SIM number 1 is the one you're going to want to use, and that is the micro SIM slot. So let me go ahead and clear out that game. Okay, and oh yeah, so Windows Phone, if you didn't know, your task manager is similar to iPhone and Android. You just hold down on the back button and you have all your open tasks and you can swipe them away. So the confusing thing about having a dual SIM Windows device is that you're going to have a separate messaging app and a separate phone app for each of your SIM cards. So when you do have a SIM inserted, it will say SIM1 carrier or SIM1 T-Mobile, or just say SIM1 messaging, and then the second one will say messaging no SIM, as it says right now. So you do have to make sure you put the right one on your home screen. Right now there's a SIM1 dialer and SIM1 messaging there, and you can see they're denoted by the little one. Let's go back here. And the same thing here. We have SIM2 dialer and SIM2 messaging. So they're right on the home screen. I still don't fully understand the SIM1 and SIM2 thing for outside of the US. I should do some research on that. But let's look at Internet Explorer. If you've ever used a Windows 8 computer, you know Internet Explorer. It's pretty, let's see. It's pretty similar to what you have on the Windows 8 computer. You've got the URL bar at the bottom, and I do like how the Windows has adopted the swipe style keyboard. So let's see, Facebook, just to pull up a web page. So it is pretty fast. It's a little annoying to have to use Internet Explorer. I looked, and there is no Chrome option for in the web store for this phone, so you will be stuck using Internet Explorer. I'm sure there are other options, but nothing that caught my eye. Now, having only 8 gigs of internal storage, you're not going to want to have a lot of large games in here. I know after I got Asphalt 8 Airborne downloaded, I wanted to try to download, I think it was called Dungeon Hunter 4 or something like that, and it said I did not have enough space to download Dungeon Hunter. So you will not have enough space to be downloading a lot of very large games. Asphalt 8 I think is almost a gigabyte, and Dungeon Hunter was 1.4 I think. So maybe one large game and then some regular apps, but don't expect to be able to put several large games on this device. Go ahead and do a camera test. See, we'll take a picture of our other blue phone here. So you can see what I mean about the camera not being that fast. It just takes a while for the shutter to kick. Let's go ahead and switch to the front camera. Hello. And I will have links to these so that you can see just how good the camera is in the description of the video. My main complaint, as I said in my video about Windows Phone, first impressions of Windows Phone, is that it just seems like there's not enough apps. Now, I will go ahead and mention, because I had a lot of people who were not very happy about the way I said that, I will go ahead and mention I'm on Android. I'm an Android user, avid Android user. I have been since the second generation of Android phones, and I am extremely wrapped up in Google's ecosystem of apps. So there's just not a lot. Pretty much the Google app is where it stops. You still have to use, there's no Gmail app, so you still have to use the Mail app that's included with the Windows Phone 8. But it is still a very valid operating system. I'm not discrediting Windows 8. I'm not saying that it's not good for you. It may be the operating system for you, especially if you're in the business world. It's going to have a lot of options. You're going to have your Office. If you need seamless integration between your computer and your phone for whatever you have to do during the day, this may be the device for you. Most of the games I've fallen in love with on Android just aren't there. There's a couple of games which haven't been, well, they've been popular in the past, but haven't been too big lately, like Angry Birds and a few games like that. But in general, the things that I use on a daily basis, Google Hangouts, Gmail, Google Drive, which I do hear there is a third-party Google Drive app, but some of those things, most of those things, they just aren't there. And since I am in the Google universe, I really need those things to function. So for me, there's not enough apps. And there is a drastically smaller amount of apps in Windows Phone 8.1 than there is for Android. But really, if you haven't invested in one ecosystem, and I've spent hundreds of dollars on applications for Android, but if you haven't invested in one ecosystem, go ahead and check out Windows Phone. I mean, it does work really well, and you heard the specs. They're not the best, but you can see while I'm using it, it's very responsive. It does look very great, and the screen looks fantastic, especially a 720p screen. It's got great battery life because they theme pretty much everything really dark, and even when we go into messaging, I mean, it's all dark themes. We'll go ahead and go into email also so you can see that. So they keep everything very dark to keep the battery usage lower. And in general, I mean, it is a fun to use device. I don't care for the way that the tiles work, but I do like the fact that they're live, and the little animations that happen, they kind of flip around to show you things, and Facebook shows you what your latest notification is. Cortana shows you some headline news. So there are some very neat things with the device. And it is not just, I know in my first impressions of Windows Phone 8.1, I did say some things that made people pretty upset, and I will go ahead and take some of those back. This device, it is very usable, and there are a lot of apps out there, especially if you haven't been in the smartphone ecosystem in the past. Great thing about this device, I love the build quality, I love the size. I have a 5.5-inch screen device right now, and I really do like the 5 and sub 5-inch categories. The cameras work really well. The front-facing camera is a little lackluster for being a 2 megapixel, but still, front-facing cameras haven't come very far yet. The sound quality can be a little tinny and small, but it's only got the one speaker on the back, so you can't really expect much. And for a device that's only $179, it is still a very usable device. And if you want to say, if you're looking for a device for your child, this might be the device. Or if you want a device that is exclusively a work phone, this might be the device for you. It does have Netflix. The one thing that I was disappointed to find out with Netflix is I have a Chromecast, and there are no Chromecast options in their Netflix app. So I'm not sure what the holdup is on that, but very interesting that it doesn't want to integrate with the Chromecast. So a big news for the day in regards to this phone. We are going to be giving this phone away. The details I will have for you in the end of the video. Last thoughts on the device. Good build quality, love the screen, and Windows Phone 8.1 has come a long way since Windows Mobile, but it is very, very usable, especially compared to Windows Mobile. Thank you guys so much for watching the review, and I will have some additional information in just a couple minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching my review of the BLU Win HD, one of BLU's first Windows devices. As I said, we will be giving this device away, so in order to make sure that you're entered to win, what you're going to want to do is subscribe to our channel down below if you haven't already done that, and leave us a comment in the comment section letting us know why we should pick you to give the device to over anyone else. We will be drawing our winner on our weekly hangout on air Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Dark Roast. So it's Mobile Cup of Joe presents Dark Roast if you're searching on YouTube, but the easiest way to find it would be just to head over to Google+, circle Google+, it's plus google.com/plus Mobile Cup of Joe. Circle us, and we will be sharing information about the hangout. You do have to be watching live to win the device, because if we pick it out and nobody pops in with a comment or anything in the question and answer letting us know that you're there watching, we're going to draw another name. So after you've entered to win, be sure you tune in at 9 p.m. on Eastern Daylight Time on Friday. Like I said, head over to Google+, circle our page, and let us know that you want to come to you want to be part of the hangout, and we'll get you invited to the event. It is Dark Roast. We are rebranding. We used to be called Boat. Now we're Dark Roast. I hope you guys win.